If I lost everything and I had to rebuild my candle setup from scratch, this is exactly what I'm buying first and nothing extra. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's Kerry. I'm the founder of Couture Home and Body. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. On this channel, I share my journey as a small business candle maker. Also, you know I love my fragrance oil. So if you're looking for reviews and performance, this is the channel for you, and I hope you'll consider subscribing. And while you're at it, if this video is helpful to you, please consider hitting the like button and possibly the share button to someone who could also benefit from this video. All right, let's get into it. If you are just getting started or you're feeling overwhelmed, this is going to save you a ton of time, money, and a lot of frustration. I feel like with all of these videos, it comes back to fragrance oils. I would start with about a dozen fragrance oils. Not 50, not 100. It's not like, oh, I have my pick of the litter. I can shop from everywhere. Don't do that. You need enough variety to test across scent profiles. So, fresh, woody, amber, ozonic, maybe something a little unexpected, like Royal Oud and Tonka. Really depends on your niche. The mindset should be super strict, right? Hold yourself accountable. It's not about collecting, right? You're starting over. It's about testing performance and figuring out what you actually like. Because you're not building a library, right? You're building a product lineup. So I think having that in your mind as you are picking oils, it'll help you edit your selects. All right, number 2, quality vessels. Man, this is so important. And I know a lot of y'all source on Amazon, and I'm not saying everything on Amazon is bad because they are also getting it from China. And if you were to go to China directly, not everything is created equal. Not all candle vessels are created equal. And they do cut corners. So vessels that you get on Amazon may be thinner than if you bought directly from the manufacturer. So quality, quality, quality. Buy it nice or buy it twice. You need consistent candle jars that are easy to wick and perform. And if you're doing room sprays or perfumes, you need reliable bottles and atomizers. If your packaging fails, your product fails, period. That is the long and short of it. Your packaging should support your product, not fight it. Number 3, wick strategy. Nothing random, right? You're picking 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 3 wick series, and that's it. If you can, get the sampler pack, but you're picking 2 to 3, max 4 wick series, and you are learning them through and through with your wax. If you don't know where to start before making your purchase, I have 2 videos on how to find the right wax and how to find the right wick. So these are tools for you to use to help you narrow down your selections. And it's not just straightforward, like use this soy wax with this wick. You really have to think about the business that you are building and your client avatar. This is where most people go wrong. They try everything instead of learning something. And mastery comes from repetition, not randomness. Most candle makers don't have a supply problem. They have a testing and discipline problem. Put it in wax, put it in wax, put it in application, put it in soap, put it in room spray base, put it in perfume base. Number 4, use a simple base formula. No additives. It's not necessary. You want to start simple, right? So I'm starting simple. I'm choosing a wax and a wick, and I'm dialing that in first. Then, once I know how the engine performs, I'm now going to add in fragrance oil. So most chandlers skip this step. When you have a new wax and you've chosen a couple of wick series to test with that wax, you want to pour a bunch of testers with different size wicks and figure out which one works best, and that is your base recipe before you add fragrance oil. You want to know how the engine performs before you add your fragrance oil. because then the type of fragrance oil is going to help direct you on whether or not you should wick up or down. Once you know your base recipe, that's when you fold in your fragrance oil. So you will always start with your base wick, and then you're going to wick up and down a few, pour a bunch of testers, depending upon the composition of your fragrance oil. That will be indicative of whether or not you need to wick up or wick down. It's just another complicated part of testing, which never ends, ever, ever, ever. No additives, no overcomplicating it. You need a baseline before you start experimenting. So if you want to try an additive, have your base, and then you can add the additive, and then you're just going to need to do the whole thing all over again, right? All the different wicks. You may find that your base wick will change when you added an additive, but I wouldn't recommend it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. The more variables you add, the harder it is to know what's actually working. Inversely, the harder it is to know what the heck is not working. All right, the fifth thing that I would buy if I had to start all over again would be just core tools for my candle making. So a solid scale that's going to measure to that 0.001 grams or 0.001 ounces, not the 0.01. That's not precise enough, right? Precision matters. Make sure you get the right scale. A wax melter. Listen, it doesn't have to be huge. I would recommend getting away from the double boiler method and using a smaller 2-auto, or listen, if you're like, Amanda, I love you, girl. If you're like Amanda, who lost everything in a fire, she's further into her business. She's getting, a bigger 30-liter type melter for her wax. You can graduate to that, right? And I have a bunch of links down below for all the different candle supply tools that I use. It'll all be down there. And some of the links are affiliate links, which just helps me out. It's not much, but it goes back into this channel and what I do. The 2-auto 5-liter is perfect for getting some small batches. It heats up quick, holds the temperature nicely. Any 2-auto melter is a great place to start if you had to, or if you're just starting out. 2-auto melters were created for candle makers. My favorite thing about the design of these, well, I have two things. It's insulated so that it's not hot to the touch on the outside. So, if you're like putting your hand up, you turn in the spout for the wax, it's not hot. And the second, I think probably number one feature, is the spout is located at the bottom of the melter, the drain spout. So you get every last drop of wax. You don't have to tilt it to get it into your pot or whatever. You're gonna get it all out. So it's safe and very efficient. You're going to need a metal pouring pitcher. There are different kinds and sizes out there. That really is up to you how many you want to make at a time in your batch. So I would say you can get the smaller ones, which holds about a pound or so of wax. That'll get you a couple of small candles, or it'll get you more small candles than some big candles, where you get the big pour and pitches. You're gonna need some glass or silicone beakers. I have 2 silicone and then the rest are glass. Got a couple of the silicone just to see if I would like them. I honestly prefer the glass, especially because I make other things that are not just candles. So I have a magnetic stirrer, and the bullet works best in a glass beaker than a silicone one. But look, get a variety pack so you can make tiny test batches with the little teeny tiny one, or you can scale up when needed. So just get a few different sizes, and the variety pack will be more cost effective as well. You will need a stirring tool. So for non-candle projects, I like the glass rods, but I don't recommend getting a big spoon, because it's just going to have wax all over it, right? And so you're stirring with a huge spoon, and then all that wax is going to dry. You're also losing that wax, so you may find that your measurements are off or your weights are off. A glass measuring stick is great, but you can also, which is another tool that you will need, is a thermometer. And I like a stick thermometer. It can double as the one that sits in your pouring pitcher, and you can also use it to stir your fragrance oil with your wax. So it's a multi-use tool. I always recommend having a couple on hand. Skill matters more than your setup, but the right tools will make your life and your process a whole lot easier. If you want more straight up candle making content, tips, tricks, advice, please make sure that you're subscribed. I super appreciate you being here. And look, if you're actually trying to dial this in, check out my other videos. I got wax, I got wicks, I got fragrance oils galore. They'll help you get there a lot faster and hopefully save you a little bit of money on R&D. Because look, testing, it never ends. But these are the top 5 things that if I had to start all over again today, these are what I would purchase. So let me know down below. If you had to start all over again, what would you purchase first? Amanda, if you were watching, share with the class. What was that journey like building back up? And what were the first 5 things that you bought to start rebuilding? Super appreciate you. All right, y'all, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye.